In this video, I'm going to give away my top exercise that I give to my athletes to help them handle the stress that comes from pressure. Let's dive in. Welcome back to the channel, and if you're just finding me now, welcome to you as well. My name is Jay Tuft, mental performance expert and coach, and today especially, teacher. This is part 4 of my Performing Under Pressure series here on YouTube, and if you've missed any of the first 3 videos, I'll make sure to leave those links below so you can get all caught up. Today, we are specifically going to be targeting the physical stress that either you, or if you're a parent or a coach, one of your athletes may be feeling when they start to experience psychological pressure in those big moments. This is a must-have because our bodies are intimately connected with our mind. So for example, if our body is feeling tense, that's going to lead to a more tense, more overreactive mind that may, for example, lead to more anxiousness. This is the same reason why when our body feels tired and sore after a long day, we tend to be a little bit more crabby and our patience is much shorter than it is when we're well rested. So any time that we can make a productive change in our physical state, that's going to lead to a productive change mentally for us as well. With that being said, I've got 3 exercises to help you productively change your physical state when you feel pressure. So make sure that you stick around all the way to the end of the video because I'm going to break down each one of these 3 exercises. Before we touch on those 3 exercises though, I do have a free gift for you today for stopping by the channel that is really going to help either you or one of your athletes mentally prepare for one of their next big moments. I want you to get over to trainwithperk.com/free guide. That free guide takes about 10 minutes to get through, but it contains 3 easy to install steps that any athlete or performer can use to help them better mentally prepare the next time they go into a pressure situation. Again, that's trainwithperk.com/free guide. All right, exercise number 1 is an exercise I call perfect breathing. Now I'm going to give you 3 exercises today and you don't have to use them all, but if there is one that I'd really like to see you try and implement, it is this exercise known as perfect breathing. The reason is breathing is the single most efficient way that we can use to try and manage stress. And in fact, breathing for my athletes at the highest level is probably one of their most relied upon skills that they use to implement to help them better handle that stress. Here's the thing, I get it. Whenever the mental guy or the sports site guy, especially on Instagram, we bring up breathing, everybody's like, oh God, not again with this breathing stuff. And I get it, it can be overused and there's nothing terribly exciting about breathing, but that doesn't mean that it's not important. All right, so let's break down how to breathe perfectly. And there's really 3 components that go into perfect breathing. And you, even as you watch this, you can start to follow along and start to execute on some of these techniques and some of these keys that go into perfect breathing. And I think even as you watch this video, you're gonna start to feel that physical change. All right, the first step to perfect breathing is just to start to bring the air in through your nose and exhale out through your mouth. Again, we're inhaling through our nose and exhaling out through our mouth. And honestly, this is the first place that we need to start because the way in which we move the air mechanically matters. And that's really what we're going to talk about in these first 2 stages. But again, it starts with just slowly bringing the air in through your nose and exhaling out through your mouth. You want to pause this video and do that for a couple seconds. Feel free to do so. All right, so now that we're breathing in through our nose and exhaling out through our mouth, the next key to perfect breathing is what's known as diaphragmatic breathing, or commonly called belly breathing. Again, the mechanics and the way in which we move the air in through the nose and out through the mouth, we want to be using our belly as the primary mover of that air. This is of course because the lungs are bigger at the bottom than they are at the top. And this is why most people who just chest breathe when they get nervous, that they take these really big heavy shoulder breaths, right? And they puff out their chest. They're actually really only using about 30% of their lungs. Whereas if we can start to engage our belly as well as a little bit of chest movement, we want more belly movement than we do chest movement. But when we start to engage our belly, we're using so much more of that volume that the lungs have to offer. More air, more oxygen, more carbon dioxide being expelled. which of course means more fresh nutrients to the blood and to the muscles. So again, key number one, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Key number two is using the belly to move the air. And the third and final key is making sure that on the exhale, that it's a nice, slow and smooth exhale. A great way to think about this is as if you're breathing out through a straw. So I'd encourage you to pause the video at this time. If you want to execute on those three keys, in through the nose, out through the mouth, belly to move the air, and a long, slow, smooth exhale, you are really going to start to feel a deep sense of relaxation physically, but then also take note of what happens mentally for you as well. Another thing I have to remind you of is to make sure that you practice this. I would recommend you do this for about 10 minutes a day, because we want to train your body that when you start to breathe this way, not only to allow the natural response, the natural relaxation to kick in, but you also want to be allowing yourself to say and to cue yourself that, hey, when I start to breathe this way, it's time to calm down, it's time to chill out. And mentally, you're gonna get so much more of a benefit as well. All right, exercise number two is known as the body scan. Now, a body scan is absolutely an exercise that has a very deep mindfulness-based component to it. And it's absolutely become one of the favorites of many of my one-on-one clients. And we'll talk about why here in a second. How to start is you want to position yourself in a place, either in your home or in the car, where you have no distractions. And yes, that means putting your phone on do not disturb, or at least on silent, so you're not getting blown up with notifications while you're trying to do this exercise. You can start anywhere on your body, but I recommend starting with your feet and then working up from there. Close your eyes, start taking a few deep breaths, but direct all of your attention to the area of your body. If it's your feet, start directing all of your attention to your feet. Whatever area of your body that you've decided, start to focus your attention on that area, breathing nice and deeply, and thinking about that area becoming heavy and warm. Spend a few minutes on your feet, then move up to your legs. But what you're looking for is you're scanning your body for areas of soreness, of tension, of low energy, and you're trying to breathe through those areas, relax those areas, just trying to make a fundamental change in those areas. What you're also doing here with the body scan is you're creating a very strong connection between your mind and your body. And this is going to allow you to increase the level of self-awareness that you have about areas of your body that are sore or maybe a little bit tight that maybe you wouldn't have been able to recognize before doing this exercise. If we can become more aware of, as athletes, about how our body feels and being able to recognize more quickly when we're a little tired or sore or tense in certain areas, odds are we're going to be able to catch that, be able to make a much quicker fundamental change in those areas, and that's going to keep us from getting hurt maybe a little bit more often. There are several great times to use the body scan. Obviously, we're not going to be scanning our body during a game. However, if you want to try and execute this body scan before the game, maybe make sure that our body is in the best possible state that it can be in, because again, if we can get our body in a great state, we can also get our mind in a great state going into competition. Another great way to use this exercise is to recover. Recovery is so important, not just physical recovery, but also mental recovery as well. And both these two exercises, perfect breathing and the body scan, are great recovery exercises for you to just take some time for yourself as an athlete, do a little bit of self-care, and make sure that we're actually charging those batteries and getting them back to a place where we need to before we go into that next competition. All right, exercise number 3 is something known as a progressive muscle relaxation. There are certain clients of mine that absolutely love it. They get a ton of value of it. And there's also clients of mine that they're just like, yeah, that's not really for me. And you know what? That's totally okay. My job here is to give you options. It's no different than the work that I do with my one-on-one clients. My job is to give the athlete a variety of options that they can use to help them solve the problem, and then they decide, after they practice each one and try and implement each one, they get to decide which one works best for them. How the progressive muscle relaxation works is that you go around to the different muscle groups of your body and you really create a lot of tension. You really clench those muscle groups and you hold for maybe 3, 4, 5 seconds, and then you release and you take a nice big deep breath. And what you're going to notice is that your muscles, after you do this, are actually going to feel quite a bit more relaxed. This is a really good exercise for, of course, muscle relaxation. Many times, you as an athlete, you're going to notice areas of your body that are just tense, or you're just really, really tense going into a situation. For some of my athletes, the progressive muscle relaxation is a great option for them to be able to relax their muscles on command, to be able to execute maybe more smooth or more fluid, just motor programs or muscle movements as they go into competition. This is a great option for them. Take this exercise and the other 3 exercises that I've given you here, customize them to yourself, to the demands of your sport, and I think that you're going to find that they're going to be really, really helpful for you as you try and manage that stress that you feel when you come face to face with those pressure moments. If you enjoyed that video, hit that thumbs up button. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and if you haven't already, make sure that you get over there, trainwithperk.com/free guide. Get that 100% free guide so you can get started on your mental training journey as well. And it's free. I'll see you next week.